I don't know about y'all, but I love getting deliveries. And nothing gets me more excited than this sticker right here, because that means there's batteries. And batteries means that there's something cool inside the box. I don't need this. Well, let's see what we got here. It looks like we got a brand new DJI Mavic Air. Now this drone was announced on January 23rd and just started shipping on the 28th. So if you put in a pre-order, you should be getting yours pretty soon. If you followed the release announcement, this might not be a surprise, but inside the box you're going to have the remote controller, the prop guards, a single battery, and what I think is actually a pretty awesome carrying case. So without further ado, let's take a look. So during the release announcement on the 23rd, DJI mentioned that they were trying to create an entirely new class of drones. And it seems that that's exactly what they've done with the new Mavic Air. Now when you pop open the box, the first thing you're going to see is the carrying case. Interestingly enough, the first time I pulled it out of the box, I was immediately impressed by the feel quality, but it was light enough that I actually didn't realize that the drone was inside. Also in the box, you had the prop guards, which had a somewhat plasticky feel, but were quite easy to put together and install in the aircraft. You got an extra set of props in case something happens to the ones that come on the aircraft. And you also have your ever important quick start guide and warranty information. And inside the smaller box, you're going to see all of the power and connectivity components, such as the power brick, a power cable that attaches with it. Now, I had maybe naively hoped that that would be backwards compatible with the Mavic Pro, which it is not. You're also going to see a few components, such as the micro USB to USB-C adapter, which I thought was nice, all of the RC components. And one final thing which I thought was a nice addition we'll touch on more later, which is actually a spare set of remote control sticks for the RC unit, which you can see right here. Now if you've flown the Mavic Pro, there's not going to be a whole lot of surprises here on the controller front, except for a few notable and somewhat welcome subtractions that DJI has made from this unit. The most obvious being the removal of the display screen, as well as something that I thought was a nice touch was the removal of the control sticks themselves. DJI has really made an effort to make this more portable, and being able to unscrew those control sticks and stowing them away in the controller really goes a long way to slimming this down and making it much easier for travel. Now you might not think it's a huge deal, but removing them just makes sense. And I'll tell you, it's little improvements like that that really show you that the Air is a second generation product, where DJI took lessons learned from the Mavic Pro and the Spark and really tried to step up their game. But as I said, as far as feel and hand goes and usability, you're not going to see much of a difference between the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro's controllers. As interesting as this is, I'm sure y'all aren't here to see prop guards, so let's pick this guy up, get rid of this stuff, and take a look at the DJI Mavic Air itself. Now as we open this up, you can see this is a small drone. DJI spent quite a bit of time during the release announcement talking about how portable this device is, and they weren't kidding. This thing is small. For reference, we'll do a side-by-side with the Mavic Pro here in a bit, but I want to point out another neat thing real quick. You can see this diagram in the bottom of the case that shows you exactly how the aircraft is supposed to fit in there. And that really just shows you how much effort and focus DJI has put into trying to make the Mavic Air a real premium aircraft. At just under a pound, you might expect this to feel flimsy, but honestly, I've been impressed with the build quality. This is definitely not a toy. Now this part tricked me a little bit. As somebody who's been flying the Mavic Pro for a while, I'm used to opening the front propeller first and then the back propeller. However, with this aircraft, it's the opposite. So you're going to want to open the back first and then the front. Otherwise, you're going to risk finding yourself in a position like this where the prop doesn't quite line up with the body of the aircraft, which makes storage pretty difficult. Now, if you do mess up the order, you can finagle it in there, although it requires a little bit of extra work and you might risk damaging your aircraft. Luckily, DJI figured this might be a problem, so they left some stickers on the prop arms to help you out. On the front, you can see the gimbal cover and some anti-collision sensors, as well as a couple stickers that cover those off, tell you to remove them before flight. I hate stickers, so let's get rid of these guys. On the bottom of the aircraft here, you can see two traditional and two IR sensors that are part of DJI's new Flight Autonomy 2.0 service, its new navigation and obstacle identification system. And in addition to the sensors on the bottom, you're going to see them on the rear and front of the aircraft. Now this is exciting because it means that unlike the Mavic Pro before it that only had collision avoidance in the front and bottom, this actually has it in the front, bottom, and rear of the aircraft. DJI mentioned during the announcement that the new Flight Autonomy 2.0 hardware and software make flying with confidence easier than ever. Now, I haven't had too much of a chance to test that out, but as I finish up the full review on this aircraft, I'll be putting those sensors through the paces and seeing how they compare to previous models. In addition to those sensors on the back, you're also going to see a panel under which you're going to find a micro SD slot, as well as a port for a USB-C cable. Now, the inclusion of USB-C is great in my opinion, because the Mavic Air, unlike its predecessor the Pro, actually has 8 gigs of onboard storage where you can save video, and USB-C ensures that you can transfer that off quickly. And unlike the Mavic Pro, the Mavic Air's gimbal is embedded within the body of the aircraft, which allowed DJI to re-engineer the gimbal protector. Now, this is a welcome change for me, because myself, as well as a lot of people that I've talked to, have had complaints about the Mavic Pro's gimbal protector. So it's really nice to see that they put some thought into trying to make it easier for the user. And they were able to make some of these changes by bringing over design elements from the DJI Spark, which is the Mavic Air's smaller brother. Another one of these copy design elements is the moving of the battery to the bottom of the aircraft. It locks in nicely, and the aircraft's even nice enough to give you that little red indicator if the battery isn't fully locked. As you may have noticed, this aircraft is covered in stickers, and this is an interesting one, reminding you to put the gear down before you fly the aircraft. And that's as simple as flipping down those white tabs on the front propeller arms, and that's going to keep your camera up off the ground and safe from damage. And earlier on, I promised that I'd break out a Mavic Pro to do a little size comparison, so here we are. Now, DJI said that the new Mavic Air is about 41% smaller than the Mavic Pro and about half the weight. And when you look at them side by side, it's fairly easy to see that. I remember about a year ago when I first picked up the Mavic Pro, and I thought this is what a portable drone is. At the time, it was way smaller than the Inspire that I've been using, and setting it up and being ready to fly was super quick. Now, if moving from the Inspire to the Mavic Pro was a game changer, moving from the Mavic Pro to the Mavic Air is like a game improver. While it's not significantly faster to set up or launch, it is really portable, which ultimately means that I'm going to be more likely to take this with me wherever I go. And if these new sensors and the advanced pilot awareness system that DJI talks so much about does what it says it can, coupled with the ability to shoot 4K video at 30 frames per second, I really can't see a good reason why the DJI Mavic Air won't be my new daily driver. Now, at first glance, you could be excused for mistaking the Mavic Air for a Spark, but if you dig a little bit deeper, there's no question that the Air is worthy of the Mavic name. 4K at 30 frames per second, full HD 1080p slow motion video at 120 frames per second, 100 megabits per second bitrate, improved collision avoidance technology, and 8 gigs of onboard storage for when you goof up and leave your SD card at home. So if you're on the fence on whether or not you want to pick one up and you have some questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll make sure I answer them while I'm doing my full review. And for other drone training, news, and reviews, please check us out at DroneAcademy.com.